And welcome to episode 4 of Hoops ETC podcast, where Cleve, there are
No.
no no limits. There are no limits. Again, I just want to thank our viewers and our listeners for obviously three episodes in. Again, we had no expectations when we started doing this, and we appreciate all the love and the support and the likes and the subscribes and the shares that everyone is giving us, and we really appreciate that. Today we have another very special guest. I had this down. One of 10 players ever to win multiple MVC Player of the Year awards. And that list includes guys like Fred VanVleet, Doug McDermott, Kyle Korver, Larry Bird. Welcome to the podcast, AJ Green.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely. All right. So first thing we got for you, first question. Obviously yesterday, or was it yesterday, 2 days ago, maybe you put out a pretty important message. You are entering the portal and you are also putting your name to the draft. Why don't you just kind of give us a little bit of background, what kind of went into that decision?
I mean, really, I just felt like, this was a year I had a good opportunity to kind of just go ahead with the draft and get some workouts with teams and, get feedback from them, kind of hear what they have to say, where they, view me in terms of possibly getting drafted or two-way contract or Exhibit 10 G League, or if they think I need to come back to school or prove something. So that's kind of the stuff behind it. But basically just going to try and make it happen this year. And if not, then, that's why I kind of entered the portal, just to give myself other options and get as much information as possible, basically to make the best decision to basically reach my end goal of like having a contract in the league and hooping in the league. So yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, and I mean, I don't even know the rules anymore. What's the difference? Like, what keeps you eligible for to come back to the NCAA? What's the difference?
I just had to sign with the NCAA certified agent. So I did that and I got an agent. And so if I do come back, then I'll still have the eligibility for another year.
All right, sweet. So what's next? What's next in this process? You got workouts coming out soon. What's going on there?
Yeah. So next week, I'm gonna head down to Miami for a few days to just kind of work out a little bit and start playing some pickup against some dudes that are down there, just to kind of get in the back in the field of playing live. And then that following weekend, I'm looking to have a first. Nothing's really set in stone yet, technically. So I'm just looking to have a first workout that following weekend, and then a few more throughout that next week. Technically, I don't know if I'm allowed yet to say who. I think that like Saturday or Sunday you can like officially kind of like that gets let out or whatever. But I'm looking to have I have 3 set up so far, starting in like 2 weeks. And then from there, it's kind of just trying to get some more workouts and really trying to get invited to the combine in the middle of May. If we can make that happen. Yep.
All right, you guys take over. Monte, Willie.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. So obviously, big picture goal: get to the NBA, right? Get drafted, hear your name called, or whatever it may be, sign, be a pro basketball player in the NBA. But you've heard anything from any like other schools, or are you not really paying attention to any other schools that have been like reaching out towards you or anything like that?
Yeah, I have these past 2 days heard from a few schools. I guess I can just list them off. I heard from obviously Iowa State called me right away.
Really?
Yeah, Ozzy's repping that one. Ozzy's repping that one over there.
That one surprises me.
From BYU, Stanford, Wisconsin, Texas Tech, Memphis, and Duke. I talked to Duke today on the phone. So, I mean, I kind of had some schools in mind going into it that I'd be interested in, and some others that kind of just turned down and said no thanks at this point. But yeah. So that's the list right now.
So obviously being from Cedar Falls, right? Grew up in Cedar Falls. To kind of have the career that you did have at UNI, such a special career, and what I mean, I would say definitely one of the greatest careers as a basketball player ever at UNI. To kind of do that at a school where you grew up right down the road. What does that mean personally to you?
Yeah, that's kind of something I've always wanted to do. Since I was little, I've been around all the history made at UNI, whether it's beating Kansas or beating North Carolina at home and NCAA tournament run. So, unfortunately, we didn't make that happen and get to the tournament, but I always wanted to just kind of leave a mark on UNI and kind of change the culture a little bit. It's just kind of what I've wanted to do and tried to do in my time here. And it's been amazing just obviously being in town and growing up here, all the support from everybody and the love has been unreal. So, it's much, much appreciated. And, it's going to be hard to leave here if it comes to that for sure.
Monte, Willie?
Yeah. So when you got injured, what was that process like, getting back into things and, just kind of maybe explain like where your mental state was at and stuff like that and people who supported and helped out with that.
So, injury, obviously I've never had to go through something like that. So, hearing that news at first, it was tough, but kind of just what helped me the most was from the jump, just kind of preparing myself mentally for, everything that was going to come from it. I knew it'd be tough and just trying to really, the biggest thing was just trusting in God and knowing it was a purpose for it and that I'd ultimately be better after going through it than I was before, both as a hooper and just as a person in general, which will help me the most. But, there was definitely some tough times like throughout the season, just watching the other dudes on the team hoop and play and not being able to be around that as much was definitely tough on the mental, but kind of just helped me too. There was other areas, both like basketball wise, just like seeing the game differently. And then just in my life, other areas that I grew a lot looking back on it. So I'm thankful that I went through that because of, who I am now. And I'm definitely a lot better just physically afterwards,
Sure.
moving better and feeling better, just on the court for sure. So it was a long process, but we're here now and ready to keep things going, I guess. So
For sure.
yeah.
So remind me what exactly, because I know it was your hip, but what exactly was it?
So
diagnosed?
it was in both my hips, I had like a torn labrum, and then on one of them I had, it's called like a acetabular rim fracture. So like the outside of my hip, a piece fractured off basically. And they just had to put a screw in there. And the same thing was happening on my other hip. So I just went ahead and got that one fixed too. But yeah, that's basically kind of what it was.
How did you manage? Was it at one time you managed to tear both labrums, or was it just over time?
I think most of it was just over time, over a few years, and then it just started hurting in the middle of my junior season, in the middle of the second game. It just randomly started actually hurting, and that's when I kind of did something about it.
Gotcha. I'll take Willie.
Yeah.
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Willie. No, I was just gonna say because I go to UNI too, for the people that are watching, and see it when you hear it he's a hooper, everything is locked in on hooping only. So when he talks about this, because you hear stuff through people that nah, he's always hooping, he's always doing something, he's always in the gym. So it's always good to hear that you got a chance to when you were injured, take a step back and also see the outside part of it and stuff like that. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure, it made a big difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, outside of basketball, what do you say maybe is your favorite hobby?
Fishing for sure.
Yeah.
I love fishing. If I'm not in the gym, especially this time of the year in the summer,
Yep.
if I'm not basketball wise, I'll be fishing or outside doing something.
Do you have any specific spots you'd like to go to, or?
Yeah, my parents, we live on like a little private lake in town with like 4 or 5 houses on it. It's like 30 acres, so it's fairly big and it's got some pretty good fishing in it. So I usually most of the time just go there.
What do you
Sometimes
usually
though,
catch in there?
mostly bat. Like it's got everything in there, like bass, walleye, crappie, some northern. So I'll catch a little bit of everything, but usually just fish for bass most of the time.
Nice.
Yep, yep.
All right. I'll be the one.
So does your dad commute, or does he have a place in Ames?
He's got a place down there.
Does he?
Yeah, I think like month and a half, 2 months, 2 months in from him getting the job, we got a place down there for him, just a little house. So he'll stay down there, but he comes back like 2-3 times a week when he can.
Because you still have a house. They still have a house up in Cedar Falls, right?
Yeah, we kept the house here.
Nice.
My mom's up here doing her thing. Yeah.
All right. I'll be the one to bring it up. One of your all-time like most viral videos happened in the Cedar Rapids Jefferson gym. You know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Do you remember who you did that to? Do you remember his name?
Yeah, Kyler, isn't that his name, right? Kyler Bell or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Yeah.
in high school you had that one, and then one at like maybe that was in college though, when you were I don't know, you had a yellow jersey on, you hit
Oh
a
yeah.
match someone. Those were two.
was that at the Northwest Rec or not North Liberty?
That was it was either in North Liberty or in Waterloo at the Sportsplex, like the primetime league, like right before my freshman year, I think. But, yeah, I remember those for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those just just playing basketball growing up and through high school and college? Do you have any favorite moment you either dropped somebody or just made somebody look stupid? It's probably a bunch.
I don't know. I mean, there's been some just playing open gym kind of in high school. There's been like some, you just suddenly like pull something crazy or like just get hella hot and
Yep.
pull from deep. So, I mean, there's some moments like that, but I mean, I guess this past year or my sophomore year, I didn't dunk it, but I almost caught a mean body in practice. Still waiting on that though. Still waiting on that. We're getting there. That's loading currently.
Speaking of Duncan, y'all remember when you guys, I don't know if you remember this or not, but we were playing, or you guys are playing us at Jeff, and I think they had blown the whistle or something, and you dunked it and they teed you up. I was like, wow.
I remember that.
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. It was like a 10-point game. Like we weren't even up by that much. It was still close. And yeah, coach was heated after that one for sure. But
Like,
Courtside Films posted that too.
yeah, they did. Yeah.
I was like,
I think it was the start to the video.
yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We can't forget Ray Jean's nasty poster that game too. Put back up. That was pretty
I
nasty.
do remember that. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was the same game.
Did you guys lose every game?
Yeah, we lost. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He totally gets it.
So you guys are 0 with Keegan and him.
Yeah, with Keegan.
Yes, we are.
Never beat him.
Is one of your favorite? I know one of my favorite games that I've watched years is that SubState game at the Cell.
You dick. I was gonna bring that up.
When you and J-Bo were, I mean, I think you scored like 75 combined, something like that. What was that experience like?
That was kind of like the first time, especially in high school, where you like just kind of like get in that zone or that flow where it's like you don't ever realize you like got 30 at the time. You're just kind of hooping, and it's just one of those like back and forth games where you kind of just step up and start hitting shots. And I mean, J-Bo was cooking us, so but I guess I got the upper hand with the last shot. But no, that was definitely one of my most fun games from high school for sure.
I remember I was in 8th grade. I was at that game, and it was just like, it was one of the most unreal things. Like, it was just, you're sitting there like, wow, that's Bohannon was pulling from 30, and then you come down, break someone down, give a bucket. It was just one of the most fun games I've ever been at for. That game was
Yeah.
awesome.
Those back and forth battles. I mean, there's the one we had this year with at Missouri State, Isaiah Mosley, when he had like 41 or something on us. That was kind of the same way too, where it's just like tough bucket after tough bucket from each dude. So yeah, that was a good time.
Kind of going off that, so obviously, I come down here to school and like we've had conversations all the time, like who's the best player you've ever played against, right? And my answer, not trying to picky, but my answer is always AJ Green, because especially in high school,
Yeah.
you're fucking filthy. Who is like who's the best when people, if someone would ask who's the best player you've ever played against, what's your answer?
It's hard to answer. I mean, in AAU, I played against Darius Garland, and I'd say that was kind of one of the only few times where like you kind of leave in the game and you're like, yeah, he was kind of all that, like what people talk him up to be, and kind of you just walk away with that respect. But it's hard because I'm sure you guys have been in the same shoes where like you no matter who it is, like you always know, like do yourself, like I'm just as good, or I can do that too. Like this dude's no better than me. So I mean, it's hard to kind of answer that, but I'd say Darius Garland was one that stood out.
Kind of like you just said, I'll never forget when you guys played us at Jeff. I think it was the first possession I came down and you were guarding me and I scored. And my first thought was, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna give AJ Green 30 tonight. I think I ended with like 10. That was my first thought. I was like, dude, I'm gonna give AJ Green 30 tonight. And I was just like, but no, that obviously.
No, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I like that.
Willie, Mate, got anything?
Yeah, so kind of going off like high school, like we all saw, like people know, if they don't know, like you were a top 100 recruit, like you were recruited out of high school from like all different types of conferences, ACC, Big Ten. Like, what is that like to like feel that again with other teams reaching back out to you? Or what was that like in high school, being like a well-known name, somewhat, maybe not as well-known as like top 5 players or nothing like that, but I mean, you were a highly recruited player and a high-level recruit.
It was it's different. Like in high school, it was cool to kind of get that recognition, I guess, and know whether it was like Virginia or Gonzaga or whoever it was, is like, reaching out and offering and stuff like that. But in high school, I kind of knew it would probably be UNI, and now it's a little bit different. Kind of because like in my head, like I know the few schools that I would possibly say yes to or like want to visit. But it is kind of, I mean, Duke honestly has always been like my dream school when I was little. I loved watching them and I wanted to play there. And so, I mean, to have them call today it's kind of cool. And I don't know, I guess in a way it's kind of cool to like feel wanted, I guess. It's kind of weird, but like,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's different though. It's definitely a lot. Like it can get a lot of times just having all the phone calls and texts and trying to balance all that. But no, I mean, it's looking back, I always appreciate it. It's always super cool. I mean, there's not many people that get that opportunity or in those shoes and get to make decisions, whether it's going to Duke or Iowa State or a big school like that. So, I mean, I'm blessed to think that I'm that type of player for sure. Like I've always known that I could play it like at that level, and especially like just watching games this year, and see like whether it's Kansas or whoever, like knowing I could do that same thing. So I mean, if it comes down to me coming back to school for a year, it'll be pretty cool to have those decisions to make. But I mean, I guess we'll see what the future holds, I guess, when we get there.
Do you have any like favorite memories of, I mean, obviously your dad coached for a long time when you were younger, like any road trips or anything like that? Or did you go to practice a lot when you were a little kid?
There's I was always around like practice or especially traveling like NCAA tournament or anything like that. But there was one time I was really young, I think, and they were playing Syracuse, and I was watching film with the team. I was probably like five. I was young, like 5 or 6, and it was me and I don't know if it was like Hunter Jacobson in the back, and they're watching film, and it's just silent. And there's somebody on Syracuse. It might have been like Wesley Matthews or something on Syracuse. Just caught a mean lob, like dunked on somebody, and I'm in the back and just went like, oh, like start going crazy. And everybody just kind of looked back, but yeah, I'd say it was just cool to be around. I mean, that's from a young age. Yep.
You guys got anything? I got a pretty good question, but if you guys got some, go ahead.
I just was gonna ask, like, what's it like playing, you know, having guys on your team that are like majority from Iowa and majority like good friends of yours and that you know it really well?
Yeah, it's been a blessing, dude. I loved it. Like, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like I think like I was always been slept on, like in terms of the hoopers we got, like in AAU, we would always make some noise on the circuit. And I mean, for us this year, like we got a bunch of talent. Like Noah was obviously great.
Yep.
Bowen stepped up huge for us. So I mean, just to, like you said, the relationships with those guys and be able to play with them every day and be on the court with them is, you know, you're never gonna forget that. It's like the best thing, you know, to this point in my life, for sure.
You were in Camp's class, right? That was, or am I?
Yeah.
Do you still talk?
Yeah. I haven't. Every now and then I will. I was gonna actually hit him up sometime soon, just about because he went through the same thing I'm about to go through last year. So I was gonna text him about it and just kind of see if he had any.
Pick his brain a little bit, yeah.
Stay with me, huh? I'm freezing.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna see if he had anything that he share with me or any advice, kind of. So we've been in touch here and there.
For sure. I got another one. So obviously, was it your senior year when you won a state title?
Yep.
So where does that? I mean, like, where does that rank? Kind of as like in your proudest basketball accomplishments?
It's easily top 5 for sure. That was always a dream since I got to high school, is to win state and make that happen. So, to do it my senior year and, kind of in the way we did against the guys, Iowa City West was a team that they'd always beat us, and, to finally beat them a few times my senior year was huge. It's just one of those kind of like, I've been working for this, and to have it pay off was cool for me, for sure.
Not only beat them, didn't you guys beat the shit out of them? Wasn't it like a 20 ball?
Yeah, we got them by 20. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Willie Monte, Cleve, anything?
I was just gonna ask, because like obviously, have you talked about it already before? You got supreme confidence. Like, what is that like when you're like going against the guys in practice and stuff like that? Is there a lot of shit talking going on? Is there a lot of like banter back and forth, or are you guys just like going at it, head down, going at it, get to the basket? Like, what is it like?
You're saying like in practice?
Yeah, like when you're picking up, when you play pickup or anything like that. Like, is there a lot of shit talk when you're playing with the guys on the team or anything like that?
There can be certain guys definitely will say more. TB would try and get on everybody's nerves, and we had a few moments this year where it definitely got heated, and there was some exchange of words in practice. But there was also like the respect to, like, TB knew kind of. I guess people don't always want to step over that line with certain guys. But it was also, I mean, I was kind of on the outside of it a lot of times where it'd be between other guys, and I just got to sit back and watch, and it was just kind of hilarious to see it unravel at times. But it was fun just competing every day. I mean, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So I know Sam Gary. I know you know Sam Gary too.
Yeah.
Has he asked you to be in any of his TikToks yet?
I'm going to show you a slight practice swing here, just like last time. Just a slight one, just an easy one. Oh, boys, we're in the water. Good grief, that was not the plan.
He has not asked me, but I'm waiting for the day that he does. I would love to do that.
Do a little
He's
collab
like-
with them.
Shout out Sam Gary. Shout out Sam Gary.
Yeah, thanks. He's comedy. He's one of the craziest athletes too I've ever been around. Like that dude's just a freak.
He is.
It's insane.
He played 1 year AU with us, and
Yeah,
you just saw it going too. Just hilarious.
yeah. He's definitely a
Clearly.
different character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in high school, do you think, or even in college too, not to throw shade on anybody at all, but you think you'd have like a favorite teammate or just a favorite player that you've, just had a certain connection with out there on the floor and just was kind of like a good mesh, I'll say?
On the floor, playing wise, definitely with Fife, because we've been playing together since like 5th grade, 6th grade,
Yeah.
like the gym rats back in the day. But I've always been really close with him, and like even just on the court, like when he would play this year, whether it was 3-4 minute stretch, like having him out there was just you could just feel the difference, I guess, in terms of like we were always on the same page with each other.
Yep.
So he's definitely been one of my favorites to play with. And then another teammate is Drew Daniels. He didn't play much this year, but he's just somebody that I respect a lot in terms of his work ethic and who he is just as a dude off the court too. And I'm gonna miss all the guys if I don't come back for sure, but those are top 2, I'd say.
All right, so let's play hypothetical. Let's say workouts go really well, interviews, everything goes really well, right? Let's say you make it to the league, you're playing every day, you're playing 82 games in the NBA, right?
Okay.
What dude, like what's the one guy that you feel like if you were to go up against, you'd kind of be like star shocked, or like that you're just kind of like super excited to maybe play against someday?
It's a good question. Damn. I don't know. I'd say maybe Kyrie. It'd be kind of crazy just from like a skill standpoint and everything he has in his bag. It would just be like, I just kind of want to sit back and watch and like see this like live in real time. So that'd be kind of crazy, but I don't know. I mean, I think probably every game there'd be 1 or 2 dudes where it's kind of, you got to take a moment to just look at it, and it's kind of surreal if it were to be on the court with them.
Is there anyone that you like, especially growing up, maybe in high school, that you kind of watched a bunch of film over and maybe tried stealing things after your game after?
I watched a lot of CJ McCollum, both when he was at Lehigh in college, what he did, and then now since he's been in the league. Just from like he's not the most athletic dude, like Russ flying around dunking on dudes, but the pace that he plays at and just how he uses his handles and he's so shifty and just change the pace and like change the speeds, change the levels, and how he gets to the spots. And I think he's one of the toughest dudes in the league. So I've watched a lot of him. This year I kind of watched a lot of Jimmer and Steph when they were in college, just in terms of like the attention they drew, like especially Jimmer. If you watch him in college, like he was ridiculous in college, like killing dudes, but just like how they always were attacking and the pressure they put on defenses. I watched a lot of that. Just, kind of how can I do the same, I suppose. But, yeah.
So obviously, like your jumper is a little unorthodox, right? Like it's still, obviously it's very effective. Did you was there someone who kind of taught you to shoot the way you do, or did it kind of just come naturally as you?
It was a little bit of both. My dad, when I was like in 8th grade or something, we tried to like get it, because I used to shoot just kind of from my chin, like a low release point, and we wanted to move it up a little bit. So he kind of started with helping me doing that. But then I guess just kind of as I got stronger and grew, it just kind of organically happened to where it just got to where it is now. So it's a little bit of both. It just kind of happened naturally.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
You guys got any?
Yeah, I got a quick couple little would you rather's. As just a basketball player, would you rather do this? Would you
All
rather
right.
drop somebody, break their ankles, or would you rather posterize somebody?
Dunk on somebody for sure, because it's something I've never done. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get that one off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Game winning layup or game winning three? That's pretty straightforward.
Three for sure. Three for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Would you rather shoot a layup for 10K or shoot a three for 50K?
Three. I know.
Launch
I'd go
Yeah.
from 35 feet for.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Okay.
three. Give me the money. Yeah.
Kind of, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier, obviously the Bohannon game. And the reason I bring it up so much is because obviously I was there. It was such an awesome game. Is that shot that you hit, do you have a shot that kind of tops that? Or is that kind of like when you're looking back on your face, like that's the shot that you're like, yeah, that's my favorite shot I've ever hit?
That might take it. I think that's been my only real like true like buzzer beater, like time running out buzzer beater. I've had like some game winners with 3-4 seconds left or whatever, but I think that might be it. Just with the whole atmosphere too, and that being like my first real like time being in that environment. So I'd say that'd probably be at the top for now. Yeah.
And like to go to state too. I mean, that's like what people
Yeah.
dream about.
You was what, a sophomore too in that?
Yeah. Sophomore.
And Bo, I looked at the stats. Bo had 12 points that game. Klosterman.
Oh,
No.
did he?
No,
I figured
Yeah.
I'd throw it in there. See,
Shout out, Bo.
oh, Bo.
So close.
That's
Wow.
funny. I didn't know he
Got in?
Yeah. I didn't know he got in. I didn't-
Wow, what a hater.
Sorry, Bo. I didn't know. Shit. You guys got one? I just had one. I forgot.
Who is the hardest person that you've ever had to personally guard? Or someone that just gave you problems?
Sure. Probably same dude, Darius.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a great defender in general. I'm trying to get better at that. So there's been a couple guys that I can't really guard, but he's definitely just stood out because it's like dudes can be quick, but he was quick and like continuously quick. Like he'd make a move that was quick, but then just like he would take off. And when we played him, he was Kaylee just pulled up. You want to say hi for the podcast? Yeah, and he was hitting shots that game too from range so I'd say him probably.
All right. I remember mine. So especially for like the younger listeners out there that kind of don't understand, especially in high school when you kind of began to take off, like approximately like how much time, like how many hours did you spend in the gym per day? How many shots, like how much work really went into kind of the creation of your game?
It was kind of just progressively got more and more. Like my freshman year, it was probably like I was in the gym probably 6 days a week, and it was usually just right after school I'd work out, or sometimes, a few days a week I'd be in the morning. But it's not like I was spending like infinite time in the gym all the time. It was just like I made sure when I was in the gym that I was working on what I need to work on, and then I would get out, and if I wanted to like get shots up in the morning before school or something, I'd do that for a little while. But it's definitely gotten more and more like now it's, like your whole day basically it's just like work out a little bit and chill, eat some food, go work out a little bit more. So it's definitely a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time spent. So, but as long as you got a plan, like especially for young people, for young kids, like just have a plan that you want to do and things you want to work on and know what you're going to do, so you don't just kind of go and end up shooting around or not really getting anything done.
If you could say, as a guy who's at that level and has a chance to go to like the highest level and play in the NBA or something like that, what is the biggest skill or the most important skill that you would say for kids like now, like to work on?
Shooting for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of dudes in the league that's just simply their job is to shoot the ball and make threes. And it's crazy, like too, like everything changes now. Like this whole spring, it's just like stuff I've been working on it becomes a lot more just kind of focused, where it's like, if this is going to be my role in the league for like, or let's say if I'm trying to get in the league, like what's my role going to be? And let me just lock in on exactly what that's going to be. Like, I'm not going to spend time doing double move to like spin, like whatever, like a bunch of crazy stuff. Like I'm just going to make threes at a high clip and handle the ball and play in the ball screen or handoff, be able to make plays and make reads, and then just be solid on defense. And like, so just kind of doing what I need to do to get myself like a spot and where I need to be. And then from there, that's how you build and you get better. Like rarely do dudes go in the league and just take over immediately. Like, I mean, John Morant is, but there's not like, there's maybe one every year like that. So yeah, but definitely shooting just in general, just shoot the ball, be able to make threes.
Do you have a favorite venue or like arena that you've ever played in college?
I say Arkansas this year was pretty dope. That was packed. But then also my sophomore year at Grand Canyon.
I heard you go nuts.
Crazy. That place was rocking. Like before the tip off, the floor is literally like shaking, and the students are like all the way around, just huge student section. So those two stand out.
Who were some of the like mentors or leaders or guys that helped you out when you were like freshman or sophomore, like the upperclassmen at UNI?
Miles, you guys remember Miles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Yeah, he helped me out a bunch. I mean, still to this day we're in touch quite a bit. And, so for sure him. Spencer, for sure, was another one.
You didn't play? Did you play with Clint?
I did not.
Was he a year?
Yeah, he was a year before me.
Gotcha.
But he was one too, just like in pickup and stuff.
Yeah.
Always, helping me out. But Tut overall, like since I've been in high school, Tut's been my guy, and he's always had my back and been helping me out for sure. Mm-hmm.
Who was pre AJ Green era? So no one you played with. Who is your favorite UNI Panther of all time?
Oh, that's a good question. Damn. I liked Johnny Moran a lot. I don't know if you guys remember him. I think he played with Ali a little bit, so that would have been back. I don't even know what year it was, but I liked watching him a lot. Yeah, I'd say he's kind of the biggest one. Obviously, like when guys like Tut or whoever it was, Wes, like they're always like your favorite too, I suppose. But yeah,
I'm a little surprised it wasn't Ali, because I just
yeah.
figured.
I mean, I was gonna go back. He was up there too. He was definitely up there too. It was between him and Johnny, basically, top two.
Were you at the game when he hit the shot?
Were you at the Kansas game?
Yeah, against Kansas.
No.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh.
I was there. I was at that game, and then when Paul Jesperson did that shot. Yeah. Against,
that was bonkers.
And then I was unfortunately at the next game.
I was just gonna say that.
Been there for the highs and lows. Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else? I'm kind of all out of question.
Yeah, same.
All right, AJ, we really, really appreciate you coming on, man. This was a blast. We're obviously big fans of you over here. All of us. Yes.
Oh yeah, you guys are big fans, aren't you?
Oh, Willie and Ozzy are. Come on.
Yeah, this is
Willie and Ozzy are self-proclaimed
fanboys
mega
by
fans.
both of us.
Yeah, they're a couple,
respect
they're a couple
game.
glizzy globbers over here. Nah, but I just want to like, if we're about to sign off or whatever, if you had one thing to say to like Panther Nation, say that you don't come back, like what would it be that you would say to them?
I'd say I just appreciate how they've always had my back and had the utmost confidence and trust in me since when I was in high school, and all support and them always wanting the best for me, and even like and going forward too. Is I know whatever decision I do make, like the true fans that have been there since the jump are going to have my back no matter what decision I make and what happens. So just a big shout out and thank you to everybody that supported, and especially, the people, the close people in my circle that always had my back. So it's been a blast, and I couldn't have asked for a better 4 years. Like truthfully, like I mean that for sure.
Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. All right. Again, thank you so much for your time. Obviously you didn't have to do this, and we really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, whatever next year holds, whatever this summer holds. Best of luck to you. And I have to, if I don't, I feel guilty. So go Cyclones, baby. Go
Oh
Cyclones.
man, he was waiting for it.
Yeah, it was.
We'll do it again, and we'll do it again in like 6 months and see where you're at.
Yep.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
on
for sure. Yeah, I would love to. No, I apprapprite it, man. Appreciate all you got. Sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Throw a big bleed blue in there too. Bleed blue. Go Jayhawks.
All right, we'll see ya. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care, brother. Take care.
Yep, thank you.